good, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 28 of Tune Check. I'm your host, Chris, and this episode might be a little short. I know I said that about the last one, but I think it came out to like 30 minutes, but this one is probably going to be a little shorter for real. As long as I'm not going over like 45 minutes or an hour, we chilling, bro. I got some more news updates, and I got one album that I want to talk about, which is Fridayy's album. So let's start off with the news. So first, we're gonna talk about Wiz Khalifa and J. Cole. So on my last episode, I had mentioned how J. Cole dropped a new track called Clouds. He dropped it on his blog, and then he finally dropped it on streaming on DSPs the next day on Friday. So a few days ago, Wiz Khalifa actually posted up that he has a verse on the song.
Whether the storm, you show me a pack, I'll tell you whether it's balm or not. Don't feel attacked at all, them is just warning shots. When I can't do what I want, then that's when the problems start. I roll another one and call it art.
And he previewed it on social media because he doesn't know when J. Cole's gonna drop it. I was really fucking with the song at first because, it's J. Cole, he's always gonna drop bars, and he really delivered on that track because the song originally samples one of his songs. When I heard his verse on social media, I was really fucking with it. I thought it was dope as fuck too. He also had said that he's not sure when Cole's gonna drop it. He just asked for a verse, but hoping to drop soon because I kind of do need that track. That track sounds too fire. And speaking about previewing music, we got Ari Lennox. She pretty much went on social media. She posted up a couple videos of her singing, recording music.
Take me somewhere. Ain't trying to do nothing but look pretty in there. Hurry up and put me in my soft girl era. Beat that play, high maintenance. I've been busy, take me on a vacation. Put your money to your mouth, don't say shit. Serving cake on the plate, come. That boy with the O in horoscope. I know because I've been there before.
She's dropping a new album soon. She even posted up a picture of her like teasing the track listing. I think the last time that she was in the news was last year. Before she cut social media off, she was, complaining about how her label doesn't really push her music, how there isn't any funding behind her and stuff. And then she was also having issues on Rod Wave's tour, which sucked because she's a great singer, a great performer, a great artist. So I'm happy that she's, releasing an album, and because I feel like she's supposed to be bigger than what she is, to be honest. And hopefully there is proper funding for her, and she goes on tour and does very well with this because she kind of deserves it. And just hearing all the stuff that happened to her, before, it was definitely sucks. But shout out to Ari Lennox for doing her thing and just, always pushing and being the best artist that she can be. And then speaking about albums, next we got Leon Thomas. So he pretty much announced that he's dropping a deluxe for MUTT.
We're working on a deluxe right now and doing some mixes. Yeah.
We're
doing some
getting a
mixes.
deluxe, people. Come on.
So I'm really excited about that. Got some really cool features with like old friends that the world loves, and I'm just really excited to get those mixes done for y'all. But that's on the way soon.
Yeah, you say old friends. Who are we talking about here? What can we expect?
Well,
here?
what? Me and Kaylani have a really great song. It's really tight. Really tight. Really tight.
Who else? Hit me. Any more?
Yeah, me and Big Sean got some stuff. Really excited about that. Me and Haley Bailey. She's amazing. And there's some more. There's some more that I don't want to talk about because I'm waiting on their stems right now, so I ain't about to call it out.
In the video, he states that the features are from Kehlani, Big Sean, and Haley Bailey, and more. So I'm kind of curious to know who else it is. And I'm excited. I enjoyed the album MUTT. It was one of my favorite albums from last year. It was definitely made my top 10. Go check it out. It's on my page. But I'm looking forward to it. I think he's an amazing artist, an amazing singer. He's really like coming into his own and showing us what he could do aside from just writing and producing for other artists. So I'm really happy he's like in the limelight. I'm really happy he's shining right now. Next, we got Lil Simz. She dropped her new single Flood and announced her album Lotus is dropping on May 9th. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Her last album from last year, dropped 7. I was really fucking with it. I loved all the elements she was playing with. I love all the beats she had on there. I think she's a phenomenal artist. I'm definitely going to have my review for this. And then another artist that's going to drop in March is 4Bat. So he posted up on social media saying his new project, Mortal Kombat, drops March 14th. He was posting up images everywhere with his artist logo and stuff. And I really fuck with it. It's like the whole bat signal, and I think it has a 4 inside of it. It's pretty dope. And with this post, he like put up a message saying that he's been battling depression that no one teaches you how to deal with success, when you have it. I hope, he's doing well, and I hope this music helped him with all of that. His EP from last year, You Made Me a Star, was fire to me, even though it was like small, it was really, really good. The remixes he had from Drake to Kanye to Usher, I thought it was very well made, really put together. And it was amazing to know that like all of these beats he just found on YouTube. But I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out for this album. And next we got Big Sean. I'm still waiting for a tour, bro. Like he's really just playing. How you just dropped a fire album last year and then not want to go on tour? Shit is crazy. But he released a freestyle called Head to the Sky.
To the sky.
Hey, straight up out the blackness, untouched like Cassius. New stage in my life, fresh out of backstage passes. Meaning everybody can't have all that access. Can't have step if you ain't choreograph it. My face in the clouds, everything else on the floor. Nothing in between where I'm at and where I'm trying to go.
I love it. I love Big Sean. I think he's a dope rapper, dope artist, dope person in general. I've been a fan of his since middle school. He also just celebrated the 10-year anniversary of Dark Sky Paradise a few days ago. He's teasing like merch drops and final drops for it. So I'm waiting to see like when it's coming out so I could buy something. And I need to get the book that he has too. He released the book, a few months ago as well. I'm still waiting to get mine. But hopefully he does have new music coming out because I genuinely enjoy his music. I like when he drops. He's very underrated. People really are sleeping on him, to be honest. And I feel like I need some new Big Sean music. So I'm looking forward to whatever it is that he's doing. But he really needs to drop this tour. I don't know how many times I gotta say this. Like, we need tour dates. Well, I need tour dates. Like, he's really just playing, like, just take my money. And then another artist that needs to drop is A$AP Rocky. So recently it turns out that he beat his criminal case against A$AP Relly, as I mentioned on my last episode. And now Relly is going forward with a civil case. So now Rocky has to, prepare for that and do all of that. And I'm pretty sure he'll probably win this one too. But aside from that, Rocky's been teasing Don't Be Dumb. He teased a track on Metro Boomin a few days ago.
Court, Your Honor, you know that God got me, of course, Your Honor. I wear that Prada in court, Your Honor. Look like Godfather in court, Your Honor. Yeah, I got that shit on, Your Honor. Niggas, I put that shit on, Your Honor, Your Honor.
Got a mop on me right now. Probably got a prop on me right now.
And it sounded cool, I was really fucking with it. I liked the vibe it was given. He also said the album is done and that it's currently mixing and mastering, and I don't believe it. We've heard this so many times within the past like 3 years, and then he pushed it back so many times. The last time he pushed it back, he said that it was mixing and mastering too. And it's just like, bro, like, if you really finished, just drop it already. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, don't be scared. Like, we all been anticipating this album for a while. Like, we just need some new A$AP music for real, and I'm ready for it. I think he said it's dropping in March. Hopefully it does. And then next we got like one of the weirdest like altercations of last week. P&D versus Tory Lanez. Like this whole thing was just mad weird to me. Like, so P&D took shots at Tory Lanez for some reason. He went on live and previewed a whole diss track talking about him.
Your lawyer is cheap. The people that love me, they love me. Would've been back in the streets by Monday. Someday, you'll be me someday. One day, you'll be me. Life is short.
And I don't even know what the reason why he even decided to do this or even mention this man or say his name, considering all of the stuff that Tory got going on, and all the controversy he has with him. Like, it's just a bad look in general. But the last thing that I've seen from Tory was that he was pretty much giving props to The Weeknd, Drake, and P&D for releasing, good albums, and that it's inspiring him to make his album. So I don't know like where the disconnect was. Maybe like somebody from P&D's team said something and he took it the wrong way. Maybe they just misinterpreted everything. But regardless, I don't even know why like he's giving this man attention or even talking about him or like saying shit about him regardless, And then later on, P&D apologized to Tory, and it was just like a whole weird thing because he did the same thing when Jeremiah, Chris Brown, and Bryson dropped their song Wait on It like a few months back because they featured his ex-girlfriend in the video, and he went on a rant and then he apologized after that. But it was just weird, like this whole situation. I'm just like, why are you even entertaining this guy in the first place, But, P&D just keeps pulling the J. Cole, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Aside from that, all of the songs from Some Sexy Songs for You hit the Billboard Hot 100, which is fire. Again, this is his first #1 album. And then speaking about, this collab album, we got Drake next. So So he canceled the remaining shows for his Anita Max Win tour due to scheduling conflicts. The conflicts was basically because there was an issue with routing. So he would be in Australia for like 12 days after he would perform a certain amount of shows and then would have to wait to perform again. And, considering like his team, the dancers, the stage people, the people with the audio and the lights, like that's just a waste of money to just have him on the road for 12 days and not doing anything. So he just canceled it, and they're working on rescheduling the tours. And it's only 4 shows out of the 16, and all the shows were sold out. A lot of people online was saying that his shows wasn't sold out, that he was doing bad, and this and that. This sucks. Like, why is he doing this to his fans? And like just hating on it. And I'm just like, all artists cancel their shows and reschedule like a bunch of times. Like it happens. It's not that big of a deal. But afterwards, there was a video of him on stage talking about, people who collaborated with him, who stayed on his side, and people who turned on him.
Thank you again for what you've done for my life, for my family, for my friends, for all my collaborators, all the producers, all the other artists that I work with. The ones that didn't turn pussy, the ones that still real, my real ones. But yeah, I appreciate you because you've changed my life for me and everybody around me.
He was thanking his fans for being supportive and grateful for them because of the life that he has now. Then I think 2-3 days later, it came out that Drake and Iheartmedia actually reached a settlement for his petition that he filed in Texas. This was back in November when he filed a petition against Iheartmedia, and then also another one with UMG and Spotify. So the UMG and Spotify one, I believe, is still ongoing because he actually ended up filing a lawsuit. I don't know when the exact court date is, but yeah, he settled with iHeart. So I feel like there was some truth to what he said and what he was accusing them of, and they ended up just paying him his money. That's kind of what it seems like. There really isn't any more details, but when people settle, then it does kind of show yeah, he kind of was telling the truth. Like I said before, if they would have just showed all this information, if they really weren't doing all of this, they would have just beat Drake in the case, but they just don't want to do that. They don't want to entertain it. But at this point, they kind of have to just give all that information for him to stop. Of course, it's a bad look on both ends. At the end of the day, it's not about Kendrick Lamar or what he's doing. It's really just about the money that they didn't give to him. At the end of the day, he's really just about his money. Everybody else should be. I don't give a fuck about none of that street shit. Nah, bro, if somebody owes me a bag, I'm coming for my bag. Simple as that. And then aside from that, Gordo, who spin up, collaborated with Drake and a close friend of his, also posted up on social media saying everything will come to light and we are not accepting apologies. So I don't know if he's hinting at the solo album that Drake's dropping or if he's hinting the settlement that was reached with iHeartMedia. I'm guessing it's probably both, but this kind of seems more like it's towards the settlement that he just reached. So, hopefully we get some more details on everything. Hopefully, we get to know what really happened because that shit is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's it for the news. Now we're gonna go into the album review. So like I said, it's only just one album. I've been excited for this album, I've really been looking forward to it. So it's from Fridayy. He dropped it on the last day of the month, which is Friday. Album is called Some Days I'm Good, Some Days I'm Not. 21 songs, 59 minutes long. Features are Tenny, Wale, Kehlani, Joe Dwight-Filet, Chris Brown, Meek Mill, and Lona. This is a double album. The first half being the highs, some days I'm good. The second half being some days I'm not, the lows. It's definitely more personal than his last self-titled album that he dropped. He shows a lot of vulnerability here from his lyrics, and he speaks about, hardships that he has, from anger, sadness, to just accepting how things are for him and the things that happen. All of these themes are combined with a gospel kind of feel that he gives on some songs. Really helps contribute what he wanted to give to his fans with this album. He started off with an intro of somebody speaking. I believe it's his mother. And then it goes into the song Sun Comes Down. When the sun comes down, we look up. That's what he says. And that's true. Whenever the sun does come down, we do look up because it's not as bright. We could see through everything now. Sometimes it's too bright to really see the other side or, what's waiting. But he's basically just trying to say that you got to keep going and just keep trying. And I kind of liked how this progressed into track number 2, which is called Wait For Me. So he sings about doing his best and getting through things, just like on the first track, and that he's asking people to give him some time to get to where he needs to get to wait for him, and that he'll eventually get there. This song was featuring Tenny, and I thought it was amazing. I love the Afro beats that he was using on this track. They sounded really good together. Tenny has an amazing voice, and it kind of kept reminding me of Thames, Me and You, her song that she released last year for her album. That song is about God, and this one felt like it was kind of hinting towards that, considering that later on he does sing about his father passing and stuff. Then you got track three. It's called Never Leave You Alone, where he speaks from the other perspective of the person on track two. I believe it's probably his father. And he's basically just being supportive and saying, I'll never leave you. You're not going to be alone, because he knows what it's like. And then it goes into track five. And this kind of brings all the elements from the first track to track four all together. He sings about how he wants this person to be with him through everything. And this kind of picks up the tempo a little bit with the bass and the hi-hats, kind of gives it like a little like modern like rap kind of feel. Wale was a feature here, and Wale slid. Wale always does good with features. He's an amazing artist, underrated as fuck. We need another Wale album for real. But he was the perfect feature for the song. Afterwards, we got Saving My Love with Kehlani. I love how this sounded. This gave me like 90 R&B vibes from the start of the track with the guitar. Then the progression into, both of their verses was great. And I didn't really know I needed a Fridayy and Kehlani collab. They're both basically just singing about their partners and how they want to be with them and do right by them. So it's a nice continuation from the last track of how he wants to be there for somebody. The harmonies and the background vocals on this song were amazing as well. The production was really good here. Then track 7 is called Back to You, and track 8 is called That Vibe. They were both good songs, but he kind of lost me here a little bit because he was kind of repeating themes that he was singing about on track 6. He was kind of singing about themes that he sang about on the last track with Kehlani. I know he wants to build on this, but it kind of just sounded really repetitive, to be honest. Track 9 is called Besoin ou, which means I need you. This features Joe Douifili, who's a French Haitian singer. I like this track. It was different from them singing in French to all these dance elements. The synths at the end were just fire to me. I love how he just added that there. I had no idea who this artist was, but I love how everything came together, to be honest. And I feel like he should do more of these songs because it sounds great. The next track is called One Call Away. This one is featuring Chris Brown, and Chris Brown always does good on his features. I feel like he never misses. I just hated it because it was a very short song, but they sounded great together. Both of them, Fridayy was a feature on Chris Brown's 1111 album. I believe he was on Breezy as well, and I feel like they always do good with their collabs. Then afterwards, we got Baddest in the Room. This was the single he released a while back. And then that's the end of disc 1. Towards the end of the first half of the double album, he kind of sounded a bit repetitive because he just kept singing about the same things on certain tracks. Like I said earlier, track 7 and 8. Then on the second album, it starts off with Proud of Me. This features Meek Mill. And to be honest, I feel like this was a perfect track to have Meek Mill on because he's usually really good when he raps over these simple, dark kind of beats, these sad beats, because of his voice and how aggressive he could be and his delivery. He really knows how to come on a track like that. And Fridayy is just singing about the things that he's been through and how he prevailed and how he misses people that he lost so far and how they're proud of him for what he accomplished. Then you got Meek Mill doing the same thing, rapping about similar situations. Meek Mill's a dream chaser, so it's perfect for him to be on this. Then this carries over to the next track called Make It Home, where he sings about how he's scared that he might not make it home, to the people he loves because of all the violence and all the things that's happening around. He's trying to remain positive, and there's still ways for him to get out of the situation and make something of himself. So I like how that theme kind of carried over to this track. The next track is called Desert. And now here he takes a different approach. He speaks about being alone and how he's just looking for hope. One of his lyrics on this track was, I'm in the middle of a desert. I've been searching for some water for days. And I like that, analogy and everything. He's in need of some hope to get him through. That's the water that he needs. The next song is called Look to You. It's another Afrobeat song. It features Lona and he sounded great. I love this song. I kind of like the first one from the first half better, but this was fire too. And again, he's kind of repeating themes, He just had a track, speaking about all of these things on the track with Meek Mill. It does show how diverse he is, but I could see that he's following a pattern when it comes to his track listing. Afterwards, you got Come Home. And to be honest, I kind of didn't like this track as much because it was a little bit more alternative, popish. On here, he sings about the consequences of his actions and if it's okay for him to come home, because he feels guilty for everything that he's done. Afterwards, you got Love Again, which builds off the last track. It was cool, but again, this theme was like repeated so many times on this album. Then you have February 23rd, which is the next track, and he talks about all his accomplishments and what he's done and, what it took for him to get into the position that he's in. He raps over a piano and it kind of helps create like this personal sound. I feel like whenever an artist wants to rap or sound real personal on the track, they have a piano in the background, to be honest, or like just like one of those simple soft beats. And it works, honestly. The next is his title track, and he pretty much sums up what the album's going to be about. I feel like this should have been the intro to the album, to be honest, considering that it's a double album. Instead of placing it so late into the album, especially on the second half, it would have made more sense if it was in the beginning to help everybody know what's going on and what it's going to be about because of all the themes and everything that he's trying to connect together. And it'll also help show why it's a double album. Afterwards, you got the track Without You. And, throughout the album, he's been referencing somebody that he's lost or people that he's lost. And here you get a song fully dedicated to that person, which ends up being his father. You could really feel like the emotion and this, like the depression that he had due to this. And I feel like he delivered it in a really great way. I kind of feel like this should have been placed before the track Desert, just to help, build more off of what he wants to convey, and especially for like the progression of the album. Then the last track is called Better Days. He speaks more about it on here, his father passing and everything, how it affected him and his loved ones. He's reflecting on all of this. I definitely do feel like this should have been placed somewhere else as well, maybe at the beginning of the second album, so it could show, what affected him so much, or one of the things that's been affecting him for a while. Because due to like songs being kind of everywhere at some points, it feels like everything's kind of scattered. He does a good job of coming back to those themes and making them feel like relevant. But overall, he was still able to deliver a great body of work. I feel like this is one of the better albums of this year. A lot of people could relate to this. This is something that I found myself relating to as well. In terms of replay value, I could definitely see myself listening to a few of these tracks. Maybe not the album all at once, considering that I usually listen to these albums like 3 times in a row before I do my review. But it's just some of the inconsistencies that like would have me listening to this album in like a different order. And it's not that it sucks. It's just like I wish he could have focused on that a little bit more. But regardless, it's still a great album. Like the track listing, yeah, it could have been better. He does repeat a few songs and a few themes. And maybe due to that, the album could have been shorter. It is 21 songs. And that is a lot considering that some albums are really short and some songs on here are like 2 minutes long. So he could have scrapped the ones where he repeated like certain things. And I feel like it would have been a better project and would have delivered more. I was anticipating this and I feel like I got what I wanted. I got what I needed. So I'm happy about that. So shout out to Fridayy, keep doing your thing. And that's it for the episode. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for checking it out. Go follow, like, and subscribe to my pages. Comment. Let me know what you guys are listening to. And if there is anything, if I missed any songs or any music that you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Share this with your family, your friends, cousins, people at work. And I hope you guys all have a great week. Thank you guys for listening. Again, see you guys next time. Peace.